Hello, good afternoon, and welcome to Newsflash at 4. We're live from the Ankomah studio at number 9, Dr. Iset Street here at North after 3 failed attempts. And on the alleged purchase of inflated COVID-19 Sputnik V vaccines, Minority to hold Minister of Health to Parliament to provide more details. These and more coming up shortly. Now to our first story, the 21 alleged LGBTQI activists arrested on 21st May 2021 for an unlawful meeting to champion the LGBTQI movement in the Volta region have been granted bail by the whole circuit court presided over by His Lordship Justice Yao Ohuahene Echampon. The suspects, who were said to have been arrested at a conference in the whole municipality, were charged for unlawful assembly. There is more in the following desk report.
The Center for Democratic Development, CDD Ghana, in a statement said it is appalled at how the court and the state have handled this matter and have allowed these young Ghanaians to be incarcerated for 19 days and counting. According to the CDD, the gathering, which was to educate people at the hotel venue on LGBT issues, is not a criminal act or a crime under the Constitution or any statute. At the time of the arrest, the arrestees were not engaged in or found to have engaged in any unlawful act or in possession of any unlawful or prohibited items. Their arrest and subsequent mistreatment are therefore a clear violation of their constitutional right to freedom of assembly and association. The CDD alleged the circuit court's refusal to grant them bail on 3 different occasions unfairly prejudices the accused persons even before their trial. The statement added that in a democratic dispensation where the rights of all persons, including social minorities, are guaranteed under the Constitution, targeting and singling out LGBT plus persons just because they choose to associate and not for criminal purposes is uncalled for. The association further called on the Attorney General and the Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice charged to intercede in the matter in order to put an end to the needless continuing harassment and violation of the constitutional rights of these 21 compatriots. On May 22, 2021, the 21 LGBT plus activists were arrested at a hotel in Godokpi in Ho after the Volta Regional Police Command picked information from their meeting aimed at advocating and promoting the rights of LGBTs in Ghana. According to the Volta Regional Police PRO, Sergeant Prince Dobote, the suspect had in their possession materials on concept encouraging homosexuals to boldly announce their sexuality, among other related books.
Off to another story, the Attorney General, Godfrey Dame, has urged the citizenry, especially leaders of the various institutions, to join in planting trees to save the environment. According to the Minister for Justice, when the last tree dies, the last man dies. Hence, the need to rally round the President's Green Ghana campaign to save the environment. His call forms part of the initiative to embark on aggressive afforestation to protect forest and the environment in Ghana, as directed by the President.
I think it is a laudable initiative of the Ministry for Lands and Natural Resources. I think that every person, we should all lend our shoulders to the wheel, ensure that the nation is green as quickly and as soon as possible. I will throw my full weight behind it. That's why all the various heads of divisions are here. The Solicitor General, the Director of Public Prosecution, the Director of Legislative Drafting, and all those who ordinarily will be in court. But they deem this very necessary to participate in and all. So I will encourage all citizens to also participate and contribute by planting a tree in every compound, every office, and every environment that they find themselves in. We symbolically did it here because this is the Internet Law House. It's a project that has been under construction for about 15 years or so, abandoned. And since I came, I've committed myself to ensuring its completion in recognition of our desire to come here, and also to symbolize the fact that indeed we'll be moving.
Now, in a related development, the Minister for Communication and Digitization, Serwaa Ekufo, has hinted that she will ensure that Parliament enforces a strict law that will curb the falling of trees during construction. According to her, such laws, when enacted, will help make the Green Ghana agenda a success, as instituted by President Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo. She also charged software developers at the Kofi Annan IT Center to develop applications that will monitor and growth and falling of trees.
Through human activity, we've destroyed a lot of the vegetative cover in our country. We've destroyed our forests and our green surroundings. Now we can be part of the solution. And so the Ministry of Communications and Digitalization and all its agencies heartily support the Green Ghana project that the Ministry of Lands and Forestry is currently undertaking today. And I've just charged Kofi Annan to see how they can develop an application that will monitor the health and the growth of the trees so that we can use digital technology to also assist this effort, and I think it is doable. In other parts of the world, even if you planted the tree in your own garden, you cannot cut down that tree without permission from the municipal authorities. And if you do so, it's an offense. I suspect we already have similar legislation, but we are not implementing it. But I will check. I'll make it my business to check, so that if we also obey those laws, like is done in other parts of the world, we will find that the trees we plant today will not be cut down callously or wantonly by someone else. Even when we're doing construction, you can do it in an environmentally sustainable manner. And the construction of the National Cathedral has taught us that, because there were trees on the land that were over 100 years old. They didn't cut them down. They needed to relocate them for the construction to take place. And the clever solution they came up with was to uproot the tree by its roots and replant it.
Now, still on the Green Ghana Day project, waste management giant Zoomlion Ghana Limited, with support from the Forestry Commission, has begun the planting of over 1 million trees across the country. Now, speaking about the project, the general manager of Zoomlion Ghana Limited in Accra, Ernest Morgan Aqua, said his target is to plant 600,000 trees in Accra.
The Zoomlion team in Accra began the exercise at the Army Headquarters Amenity Center Mess opposite the Flagstaff House. Ernest Morgan Aqua is the Managing Director of Zoomlion Ghana Limited in Accra.
Zoomlion, we are partnering the Forestry Commission to do this exercise. We are preparing the grounds for them, we are transporting the seedlings for them, and we are also assisting them with the workforce as they do the planting. Also, as part of the exercise that we are doing as a company to help them, is to help them with the logistics that they need, as in the watering cans, the shovels, the pickaxe, and other logistics that they need.
He added adequate measures have been put in place to ensure these trees survive.
And we also have the parks and gardens. We are working with them, and they are constantly on the ground, seeing to the greening and beautification of the country. So we, partnering with them, would have some of our workers with them 24/7 to ensure that this thing becomes successful.
The acting director of Parks and Gardens, Reverend Charles Ni Ayikwe, cautioned against the illegal felling of trees in Ghana and called for more attention to be paid to the nurturing of these trees.
Nurturing is another stage, and sustainability is another stage. So you have the PNS. This should be a guiding principle to all of us, because I can see, I like the enthusiasm of all Ghanaians planting trees. Planting tree today doesn't end there. It's a continuous process. We have to nurture it. We are talking to other people who are also cutting and wantonly felling trees all about. Now, there are procedures in which you have to follow. When you need a tree to be cut, you apply and go to EPA. EPA directs to Parks and Gardens to go and see whether it is feasible to cut the tree or not. Thereafter, the permit is granted. So Parks and Gardens will not preach virtue and practice vice.
The team called on all Ghanaians to make tree planting exercise a way of life to save the country's forest cover.
Now, the Managing Director of State Transport Corporation, Ankomah, says the Green Ghana project is a step in the right direction and that various stakeholders should be consulted and joined in the project. He says it should be a long-term project and not abandoned soon to come. Agreeing to this, former Communication Minister for the National Democratic Congress, Felix Ofosu-Kwakye, says the plans put in place should be a sustainable one and not another loot and share.
It has to be a connected process. The planting, the sustainability, the preservation of the ones we have, so that it becomes part of our culture. You see, we just have to live at what is happening in other countries. All these big cities that we like, London, New York City, now they've seen that fine, the skyscrapers are nice, but you need the trees. And they are planting trees. So in our rush to be like them, we should not repeat their mistakes.
But I do hope, genuinely hope that it succeeds, and whatever way that one can help, we would assist. Except that I don't know how I can get involved. Maybe Ankomah may enlighten me. But I think that is a laudable effort. That they perhaps may assume that people know about it. But as I sit here, I don't know how I can get access to seedlings to plant. So perhaps that assumption is misplaced and erroneous. They may have to do more to get more people interested. If it is supposed to be widespread and everywhere, the impact must be felt. I also do hope that in light of previous and recent events, the management of this in terms of the finances will be above board, so that a few months down the line, we don't hear about misappropriation of funds, which tends to undermine public confidence in such exercise. Because what the public normally thinks when these things come up, and indeed, it has come up in some discussions, that there is just another avenue to loot the public purse in the name of planting trees. So all those lessons have to be taken on board and packaged in a way that we are board. Otherwise, I don't think that anybody can fault any effort at all to recover lost ground.
Now let's go to Parliament, where the Minority NDC caucus is calling on government to immediately abrogate and refrain from purchasing Russian-made Sputnik V vaccines through middlemen and other irregular sources. Now, the ranking member of the Parliamentary Select Committee on Health, Kwabena Mintah Kando, in an address to the media, said his outfit will hold the Minister of Health to provide details on the controversial deal, which the minority insists is shrouded in secrecy.
All indications surrounding this deal points to an attempt to rip off the Ghanaian taxpayer and maximize profit for some private individuals in government and their foreign partners. The AU bought 300 million doses of Sputnik V for $9.75 per dose. Slovakia and Hungary, which are much smaller countries than Ghana and in need of smaller quantities, have all purchased Sputnik V vaccine for approximately $10. Why should Ghana pay more? Ladies and gentlemen, we are aware that government is making arrangements with some Ghanaian companies to purchase Sputnik V vaccines at prices well below $15. Why would government therefore opt to stay with an agreement that requires the Ghanaian taxpayer to pay $19 per dose? Also, this agreement involves foreign counterparts, and as required by our law, it should be brought to Parliament for ample scrutiny and approval before being implemented. The minority in Parliament would urge government to reconsider both terms of this contract with particular emphasis on price and work assiduously through proper diplomatic and approved channels to secure COVID-19 vaccines for Ghanaians. Ladies and gentlemen, this contract is unconstitutional, null and void, and government should abrogate and refrain from making any payment with respect to this contract before laying the entirety of the contract before Parliament for scrutiny and subsequent approval.
Now moving on, the National Chief Imam Sheikh Osman Nuhu Shaributu is urging Muslims to fully participate in the upcoming population and housing census to enable government equitable allocate resources for the development of deprived Muslim communities. Now the National Chief Imam joined other leaders of the various Islamic sects to collectively begin a campaign to urge Muslims to avail themselves for the all-important national exercise.
The Ghana Statistical Service will on June 27, 2021 begin the 2021 population and housing census across the country. The exercise will run till July 11, 2021 and is meant to generate data that will be used for decision-making and planning for the development of the nation and its citizens. The 2021 population census stakeholder engagement organized by the Light Foundation brought together the National Chief Imam Sheikh Osman Nuhu Shaributu, leaders from the various Islamic sects and civil society organizations, a trainer from the Ghana Statistical Service, Dr. Nasiba Swala Tahiru, and a lecturer at the University of Ghana and chairman of the occasion, Dr. Haruna Zagun Zaid, urged Ghanaian Muslims to avail themselves for the exercise.
Population and housing census is for both Ghanaians and non-Ghanaians. Any person who finds him or herself alive on our reference date, which is the 27th night of this June. If you were in Ghana on that day, whether you were sleeping in front of somebody's shop, you were in a bus station, you are a foreigner or a Ghanaian, you will be counted.
We've done some survey and we realized that Muslims don't take this particular activity, government activity, seriously, or national activity seriously. And so, over the years, Muslims have rejected the percentage given to them. But from our research, we have come to realize that Muslims don't avail themselves for counting. And when you don't avail yourself for counting, your number, you will not get your number. And for me, it is a very important jihad for us to get to every Muslim, in every Muslim enclave, to be able to be counted.
Founder of the Light Foundation, Sheikh Abubakar Ali Napari, said the exercise would help government allocate enough resources for development in deprived Muslim communities.
The time is far gone, and then Ummah is waking up with united force because of the importance of this exercise, which is national census. I'm appealing to all Muslims across breadth and length of Ghana to listen to our leaders, the messages that they are going to give us, so that our social gathering, our Jummah prayer, our Hamsa Salawat prayer will remind ourselves constantly and make ourselves available so that we'll be counted.
Representatives from the various Muslim organizations took turns to urge fellow Muslims not to attempt to give wrong data to the enumerators, but support them with the right data in the line of duty.
Now to some politics. Director of Elections for the National Democratic Congress, Elvis Afriye Ankomah, is calling on party faithfuls to be patient and avoid premature campaigns on behalf of party executives. According to him, tagging of some party members as incoming executives and MPs is an act of indiscipline. He was speaking to Metro News' Shadrach Odame Ejare.
We haven't had branch elections, constituency elections, and then national executive elections. Is a process. We just had an election 6 months ago, barely 6 months ago. And so it is important that we focus on rebuilding, reorganizing the party. And that's what we are doing now. There's a process. And therefore, I tell my well-meaning friends that they should be patient. There is no way that anybody will want to contest a position that can be done in secret. Evidently, when the time comes, you will come and pick nomination forms and you will contest if you so desire, and everybody will know. But I think it's a bit premature at this time that we haven't even done branch elections and people are talking about national elections. What is even more frightening is that we've seen some flyers, some people talking about incoming members of parliament. Now that is complete indiscipline. Our members of parliament are out there in parliament working hard, sweating to work for the position of the NDC in parliament. And less than 6 months after they've been sworn into office, people are in their constituencies talking about incoming MPs. That is wrong. And I, as Director of Elections, will not endorse that kind of behavior. Indeed, I have said that when and if the time comes, and if my boss, the General Secretary, does not contest, it is something that I am considering seriously. So there's no doubt about that.
Parliament, the Deputy Minister Designate for Energy, Dr. Mohammed Amin Adam, says the Petroleum Revenue Act 815 is considered one of the best in the world. According to him, the transparency mechanism of the law is such that it can hold the government accountable. He, however, admitted that how revenue from the petroleum sector is spent is a major concern which needs to be relooked at. He made the disclosure when he appeared before the Appointment Committee of Parliament.
The first challenge I see is the way we spend the money, the petroleum revenue. We currently spread the ABFA thinly over so many projects. And so you have project overruns, you have cost overruns, projects are not completed for the people to benefit from those projects. And so if we have to re-look at the law with a view to amending how we spend the ABFA, the annual budget funding amount, focusing on legacy projects that can give greater impact to development in our communities. That will be something I will support.
Let's do some Galamsey and the Breman Brofuyedru community in the Upper Dencho West District of the Central Region is yet to come to terms with how a mining pit collapsed and killed 3 persons 2 weeks. Among the dead is a 13-year-old girl, Fabatia. As part of Metro News' Galamsey series on the impact of Galamsey mining activities, communities dubbed Galamsey Impact, Metro News spoke to the mother. Ya Asantewa is devastated as she narrates how her daughter took part in the Galamsey activity that eventually killed her.
We are at the family house of a 13-year-old girl who was one of the 3 victims, or the 3 people that lost their lives to the illegal mining pit that collapsed some 3 days ago. Her name is Fidelia, and we are here with her mother, Yasa.
Abajo adwuma no so wonko bi da na so okwa adwuma nukuni nso yale kwada hospital enya haya mesuma wo menya 2 months mpo me na ohwe menya na ohwe ba ko ene menua ne so okwa adwuma me ka je se me ma ne nko me ba no me ma ne nko oso ba ko ma Mama nko
catch also okọ site o
so okọ site wo na me pam no se me mane nko adwuma no nya evidence me nko na so obekọ mesme da ho ame wo na me obi nso ba na so me ba no do do abu agu no so onya ehwe nso onya mbe kan ho ya me nyi me ba ne mame na mesme to wa no mbe ka chem se me ba no so no
to okọ site wo ko hwe no
achoda bi manti me anko ho
inti ba say na like onye adwuma ni bi da all of a sudden ho a wo tie so okọ site wo
ne peso na de ko obi na be nya na se ono kra odi ko si obi ma se obi me fa na adwuma na nipa ne be nya na no so ade ne ko site ono so obekọ na me ka che se me ma ne nko na so obekọ Ntana meswe pam no so ba kona no so de kwae no site won so de wonko obi da na makase wako bi da wonko obi da
nipa na ibenya ne ye na damfo na ase de
na damfo
ba na be ma
oba
to no na damfo ne de survive
ba cha
na oyo obi a eya bibi hanu so ohia bibi obeto ana o provide bibi a ohia biya de ma no e ofie na okọ school de
ba cho da bi
ade ntina no okọ school
ba cho na iska se mintina ma no okọ school
but aside that now to me provide bibi a de ma no
Moving on, the Ghana Statistical Service recently announced the inflation for the month of May of 7.5%, a drop from 8.5% recorded for April 2021. Now, on the back of this, Metro TV has been interacting with some citizens on what they make of this drop in inflation and its impact on their standard of living.
My take on that is that all these economics jargons that these politicians tell us or these economists tell us, they do not reflect on in the ordinary person's pocket. Because what is inflation to the ordinary person who picks straw, who buys food from the ordinary market? It does not reflect on his pocket. Because I want to see that when I go to the market and tomatoes is, let's say, 5 cedis a bucket, after the inflation has come down, I should go there, I should be able to find the prices to be like 2 cedis or 2 cedis 50%.
I think the figures are not what we see on the ground because things are really tough now. So when they are sitting on the top there and they are massaging figures, if they come down, they will know that it's not like that. Now unemployment is very high and it's like everything is normal. To them, I think they have forgotten what they said to us. So they should really calm down or they should go back to what they said to us in 2016 and work on their plan.
But the thing government can do all these things. Government cannot do all these things. We also have to help, but we're not ready to help. If things have come down, if I'm selling this motorbike to 20 Ghana cities and if later are going down, I'm supposed to follow up.
I pay money, but God provides me, so I don't need to care. Because He just said I shouldn't worry about what we should eat or how we should live our life, because He is our provider. So when it comes to you being a Christian, you don't have to worry about what the word is talking about. The Bible says that when people are saying there is a cast down, we shall say there is a lifting up.
Now, the Ghana Chamber of Mines is confident gold production by its members will increase by over 15% in 2021 after declining by about 5% in 2020 due to the impact of COVID-19. Overall, gold production in Ghana declined by 12.1% in 2020, the highest year-on-year decline since 2004.
The Ghana Chamber of Mines says overall, they project that global supply of gold in 2021 will exceed the corresponding output in 2020. In 2021, the Chamber expects most of its gold-producing member companies to recover from the drags that characterized operations in the preceding year. Overall, the gold output of producing member companies in 2021 is forecasted to range between 3 million to 3.3 million ounces. One mineral that has been benefited from the fears and uncertainty associated with the pandemic was gold. In 2020, the price of gold shot up around the period when the COVID-19 infection was declared a pandemic by the World Health Organization. After that declaration, many investors sought to convert their assets into bullion and its related assets, which directly provided the needed momentum for a sustained rise in the price of gold, which jumped up by about 5% from April 2020 to April 2021, moving from $1,681 per ounce to $1,758 per ounce.
That's all we have for News Flash. We came to you live from the Bohema studio. My name is Fidelia Serwaa, Ankomah. Enjoy the rest of our programs. Have a good evening.